Hey, Mega Moms, Jessica Hensley here with Real Estate Mega Moms, where we help moms create a life and a business that they love. And we're back with part 2 of your fourth quarter review. And so we've already talked about a lot about your business, what to review in your business. Now we're going to talk about some other things that we see agents do in the fourth quarter. We see a lot of movement within brokerages, hopping from brokerage to the other brokerage. And we see a lot of team dynamics changing, whether somebody's joining a team, leaving a team. So there's a lot of movement going on. And the fourth quarter is typically a good time to do that because you have fewer transactions. More than likely, you have fewer transactions, less deals to manage during that transition. But let's talk about brokerage change. We'll start with that. Why should someone consider a brokerage change? And then we're also going to talk about why someone shouldn't. So why should you stay at the brokerage you're at? So what would be a reason to think about? What are we looking at in this fourth quarter on whether you should change brokerages?
Well, I'm just kind of looking back at the reason why I consider changing brokerages. And I think, one of the biggest reasons is, what is your current brokerage not offering you that another brokerage could be offering? And you kind of have to look at, who is surrounding you at your current brokerage? Are they lifting you up? Are they, are you walking into your brokerage and what does everyone do? Are they excited to be in business? Are they cheering you up? Is there an abundant mentality? Is everyone on the same page? Everyone wanting to do better and more? And I think it's important that if you're looking at wanting to do better and more, are other people wanting to do better and more with you? And that to me might be a reason to change. For us, I've got a husband and wife and a son team, and I loved the brokerage that I was at, but I wanted my son to be around other like-minded, very go-getter type mentalities. And the brokerage that I was at for 10 years, I didn't feel was the one for me. The one for him. And so I wanted to change. After 10 years, I thought I would probably just be there forever and ever, amen. And so I wanted to look for a change. And there was a brokerage in town that had a ton of just people ready to go and wanting to do more and getting started in their careers. And of course, this was right before COVID happened. And there's tons of people in the office before. And so we went in there and all of a sudden the doors are kind of just closed. No one was at the office. So we got there and we ended up not being in the office. So it kind of defeated the purpose. And then that kind of changed where everyone was working from home. But I think that's one of the reasons you kind of have to look at what you're getting. Are they doing what you want, what you're kind of setting your mind to? And that might be a reason, just kind of the atmosphere. I don't know about you. What are you thinking? What is a reason to change?
Yeah, I totally agree. Looking at what the brokerage is offering, looking at who you're surrounded with, but I think also looking at the stage of career you're in. So, people will say Keller Williams has a really good training program. We're with EXP, we think they have a really good training program. I would say as a brand new agent, ask yourself, where can I go that has something in place, some infrastructure in place that I can learn what I need to know? Because, when you're getting your real estate license, they're giving you just like a tiny fraction of what actually happens in real estate. And it's a lot of on-the-job training. And you don't want to make on-the-job mistakes with other people's money and assets. You want to make sure you have a good mentor and advice on how to represent your clients best. So I would say if you're a brand new agent, that would be a key thing I would look at. who has a really good training program. When you're interviewing with them, ask the broker. I think that's something that a lot of agents forget is you're actually interviewing the brokerage. They want you, they need you almost as much as you need them. And especially brand new agents, they come in thinking that, oh, I have to interview and they're going to accept me, when in reality, most brokerages accept anyone and everyone because they want as many people as possible. Now, there are a few maybe higher end where there's a little bit of a bar to jump over before you can be part of their group. But for the most part, you have lots of options and you're interviewing the broker. Some other things, Steph, I would look at is obviously the splits are very important. There's different types of brokerages. And, I know we have a vast majority of people watching us have been in the business for a while, but we have ranges. So some are brand new, some are thinking about getting into real estate, some have been in the business for 20 years like we have. So I'm just going to speak to the people that are newer and maybe don't know, just so you can get a good idea of what different brokerages are. So you're going to have your cloud-based brokerage like EXP, that's where we hang our license. It's a national brokerage. It's agent owned. It's driven by the agents. It's not driven by a broker owner. The traditional model was somebody would get their license, they would get their broker's license, they would open their own company, and then they would hire other agents. And so those agents would then give 50% or more sometimes to that broker for taking on that liability and having like some of the overhead, but a big chunk of that commission would go to the broker. So it was all about lining and padding the broker's pockets, making sure the broker was successful. So all these agents were working their tail off and you had like one person that was benefiting. So that's why I liked the cloud-based model better and the agent-led brokerage better, because it's not like one person at the top getting rich. Everybody has awesome opportunity within EXP. There's other cloud-based brokerages like Real, LPT, Fathom. I'm sure I'm going to forget. There's a lot of them out there, but we just happen to hang our license at EXP. It doesn't have a brick and mortar, which is like a physical office, unless you rent a physical office or you buy a physical office as the agent.
Right. Like
so it doesn't allow. Yeah, so you can.
There's plenty of businesses like EXP teams or companies that have a brick and mortar that run under EXP as well.
Right. I would also look at what's the technology like? So I'd look at the splits, I'd look at the technology. So what is that brokerage offering you that's going to help you set yourself apart from other agents in the area? Whether that be your own website that's connected to the MLS that has some sort of a lead capture, or maybe a CRM where you can keep your database organized, or maybe it's some marketing tools that you have access to that's going to really help set yourself apart. I mean, all of those things are important. So I'd want to know, am I getting everything that I need to be successful? And let's see, I talked about splits. We talked about technology. Fees would be something else I would be asking about. What's the monthly fee? Is there a transaction fee? Is it a per transaction fee versus a split? So all of those things. We actually do have a broker comparison spreadsheet. Surprise, I love spreadsheets. So if you want help, if you're looking at different options, you give me a few pieces of information and I can compare several brokerages for you side by side based on your projected production, or you can do like your previous 12 months. I like to do that a lot because I tell people, hey, if you were with this brokerage this last year, you would have made this much more money. And a lot of times it's pretty eye-opening. Sometimes it pays for a full position on their team. And Stefanie, I feel like we might have done that with you whenever you decided to switch over.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because, for me, I think like for especially these young ladies and gentlemen that are just kind of starting out, I would think like the biggest thing is support too. I mean, don't forget about that. I mean, splits are important. all these kind of things that Jess is talking about is so important, but there's nothing more important than going to a brokerage that is going to help you and support you and mentor you and help you be successful. There is just absolutely nothing more important. I was absolutely blessed at the beginning of my career to be absolutely supported and mentored completely I was involved in with a family team, and super blessed to be mentored and supported and guided. And I would say absolutely that's one thing that is so important. So Jess, I know when I went from this local company that I was talking about earlier over to EXP, you helped me with that spreadsheet. And at that point in my career, those things that you're talking about were absolutely important. The splits, down to the very cent was very important to me, because I was at a stage of my career where those things absolutely matter. But what I was more even blown away with after I came over to EXP, and you'll have to think about this with your other companies that you're looking at if you are looking at changes, is the upline of support that I'm receiving. I'm blown away at all of these masterminds that I am connected to. I didn't even know these things existed before I got involved with EXP. If you decide to plug in and learn more, literally you can learn all day. If you want to, you can learn all day and implement, and all of these people are willing to help you. It's crazy. So if you are looking to make a change, especially if you're new, you're going to want to make sure that someone is willing to help you, which if you are looking at the cloud-based brokerage, I think not just the company, but who your upline is, who are you going to be able to plug into and ask questions to. If it's a local company, make sure that it's someone that's going to have trainings and meetings and actually sit down at the table with you and talk to you, or sit online with you and talk to you. If you've been around for a while and you have a pretty good knowledge, who's going to help you elevate your business even further? I think that's absolutely important. Like I said, I am been in it for 17 years. I go to trainings and these kind of things all over the place, especially when I was with Remax. I loved Remax brand, love. But these trainings that I'm exposed to right now with EXP absolutely blow me away, and how gracious they are about sharing it, and about how they'll hold their hand out and say, let me help you get there, and take the time. Those are the kind of things that you want to be open-minded with if you want to make a change.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I was also going to say, let's see. Where I want to go next is also thinking about why you shouldn't make a change. I feel like some agents think my broker is to blame, my office is to blame, the franchise I'm with is to blame for my lack of production, when in reality, a lot of brokerages, a lot of brokers offer very similar services. There may be some differences, but the premise is pretty much the same. But are you actually executing? And it could be because you're not inspired, because you don't have something that's so right about looking around at the brokerage and looking at what they have to offer as far as the support. That is huge. Also, I want to remind everybody that it may not be time to switch brokerages. So don't be so impulsive and make a quick decision about that. Really think about it, really pray about it, and do a lot of self-reflection. So I would ask yourself, am I fully utilizing the tools that are available to me at my current brokerage? Am I tapping into the team meetings that are available to me currently? Am I using the technology? Am I using the CRM? Am I showing up? What is the hindrance? Is it me, or is it the brokerage? And I would say most of us would probably have to quote Tay and say, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me, right? So the problem is changing scenery is not necessarily going to change your behavior and your commitment. So just something to think about there. We're not against making moves. Obviously, we've both made a move. I moved to EXP in 2019. Before that, I was at Keller Williams for about 3 years. And then before that, I was at United Country Real Estate for 11 years. So that's been my entire career. I've been at 3 brokerages. Well, I say that, I forgot. I was a broker owner of Heritage Homes. So after United Country, I opened up my own brokerage, and then I moved that to Keller Williams. Then I moved to EXP. So I guess 4 technically. And Steph, how many brokerages have you been part of?
4. I started out at a local company called The Real Estate Company, and that was where I was with my sister-in-law. I was there for 3 years, and then I went to Remax for 10, and then I was at HIG, which is a local company here, for 4, and now I've been it'll be 3 years at EXP for 3.
Wow.
So, yeah. And so it was weird because, like I said, I felt like I could have probably been at Remax forever because, like, my heart was just, like, there forever. And then things changed. I brought on my son, and it was just like, I was looking out for, like, something for him to get fired up on, and we just ended up moving. And then we ended up changing because I got excited about EXP with you. So life changes, and you just kind of you just move and flow and you go. But I agree. Like, it's not. I feel like you have to really analyze why you're moving, and because when I moved to Hague, I was talking to you about possibly moving to EXP.
Yes,
and I had wanted to move to something that had an office because of Jacob. And so how I think about things so strongly. And so, I don't feel like you always have to make a move, though. I think you have to really think about things, make sure you are using the tools that they offer. And is it you, like you said, hi, it's me. A lot of times it is me, it's like, I'm not doing the things, like, it's not about the shiny object, which is moving, because guess what? Moving is a job. Moving companies is getting new signs, doing the marketing. And then guess what? When you're all done with that, are you still doing the work that it's taking to get the business? And is it going to, is it getting you anywhere? Especially if you're doing a lateral move. I don't know. It's
like, what's the true motivation? What's the true motivation? And also really vet the people that you're moving with or for, whether it be a sponsor, a brokerage, a broker, really see what their reputation is, and are they actually going to deliver on what they're promising you? And you can find that out by talking to people that work there, or maybe did work with them or for them. So be cautious out there. But yeah, so we're doing this. It's going to be kind of a mini series, I think, Stefanie, because we've already spent almost 20 minutes talking about brokerages, and I feel like we could probably talk about brokerages a little bit longer. But there's other things we want to talk about in this 4th quarter review. So for now, we're going to leave you with this. If you are thinking about making a brokerage change and you want an honest opinion, we're not going to try to sway you or recruit you to EXP. I just have a really good tool that's going to break it down for you line by line in my spreadsheet, where I can show you, here's what it adds up to dollar for dollar with your production or your projected production, what you would get with the different brokerages. You give me the information. Of course, I'll give you the information about EXP and tell you, what we offer our downline. It's pretty sweet. But either way, if I don't think that it's a good fit for you, I'm not going to try to talk you into something that is going to be detrimental to you and your family. So if you want to schedule a call with me, a discovery call, we will put the link to my calendar in the show notes. And we're going to continue this series. We're going to talk about, should you stay solo? Should you hire an assistant? Should you join a team? What are some self-care and personal things that you can review that might help your family, your kids, your marriage, your household? So there's going to be some great information on the podcast coming up, all about your 4th quarter review. But moms, we will see you in the next episode. Remember to create a business and a life that you love.